Third win in the World Cup for Afghanistan. A team that managed only one win in their first two World Cups now has three wins, two consecutive at that, and all three wins coming against former world champions.
Yeah.
Fardin, that's one heck of a topic in today's morning after.
Yeah, I mean, you think about when the Asia Cup was going on, if you told someone that Afghanistan would be here, winning three games in the World Cup after six rounds, I don't think a lot of people would have believed you. So I mean, it's an amazing feat for them, amazing feat for their cricket, and they're well placed. If some of the other results go their way, well placed to make a semi-final case, if they're able to keep this up.
Let's start from the top. We were talking about Afghanistan's possible over reliance, especially before the tournament and early in the tournament, that they could have this over reliance on Gurbaz and Ibrahim, particularly Gurbaz, with him having more experience in India, of course.
Yeah,
But that seems to have vanished completely with
yeah.
their
I
number
mean,
three and number four consistently stepping up.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you looked at Rahmat Shah, couple of matches didn't really go his way, towards the start of the tournament, and you thought, he's probably like the weak link in that top order. But last two games, you see the way he's batted, it doesn't seem like he's the weak link, right? Like you said, Gurbaz was out what first, second over today or first over today. Um,
Four deliveries, basically.
yeah,
That's
four
all he survived.
deliveries. Yeah, so straight through. Madushanka, as always, swinging it a little early on. Yeah, but the way they steadied the ship, and really good to see captain stepping up. A lot of other captains haven't been stepping up. So for a captain, what, two games back to back now? He stood up. He's basically anchored a chase home. He's allowed someone else to bat around him, essentially. And those guys have been able to take those risks. So Afghanistan batting is in really good position. And today we were talking about it in our group chat that Afghanistan probably need one more batter to be performing. I don't think they need one more batter anymore because their top five seem to be in really good position. And Ikram Ali Kil didn't even bat today. So, yeah.
The way Omarzai has stepped up as a batter in this tournament, how impressive has that been?
Yeah, massive. I think I was just looking at his stats, batting outside the top five um, just now, right before we started recording. And in ODIs, this guy has in basically most of his innings have come in number seven at an average of 32. He's played four games at number five at an average of 60. So to have a batter, this is what you call dynamic batting lineup. Guys who can shuffle up and down based. His average might be lower at number seven, but his strike rate's higher at number seven because he's doing that finishing role. Whereas at
And a
number
number seven
five,
having an average of 32 is
it's not
excellent.
bad. Yeah, you take it any day. If he's scoring at 137, 138 strike rate and he's scoring 32 runs per innings, you'll take it any day of the week. At number five against India this year, 62 of 69 balls. Against England this year, 19 of 25. Against New Zealand, 27 of 39. Against Sri Lanka, 73 of 80. Numbers, those are numbers, right? He's putting up numbers, and that's someone in form, someone who's developed massively as a cricketer. And I think you will remember, we've seen him in the BPL. We've seen him come to Bangladesh. He's come and played in Bangladesh. He's played against Bangladesh in T20s and stuff. It's only as recently as probably this year they've introduced him in ODI cricket. And he stood up and said, I'll make that position mine 100%. Thank you. So, yeah, I mean, it bodes well for Afghanistan cricket. And they don't even miss Nazibullah Jadran that way.
And it was such a brave call to go ahead with Omarzai ahead of Gulbuddin Naib and
Yeah,
Karim Jannat,
yeah,
both of whom had more ODI experience than Omarzai. As you were saying, Omarzai doesn't exactly come with a lot of ODI experience and as a bowler, because he played predominantly as a bowler, his numbers weren't even all that great
Yeah,
in international cricket as a bowler. So for them
yeah,
to properly identify his talent and potential with the bat, it really shows what Jonathan Trott has been doing with this Afghan team.
yeah. I mean, if you looked at the way they split up, there was a when the cameras panned to Jonathan Trott, they had a split on how they wanted to chase that 242, right? And after 20 overs, I think they were 13 behind, and after 40 overs, they were three ahead of where they wanted to be. So that tells you their ability to pick up pace here and there. But I think especially with Omarzai, um, we know Ikram Ali Kil was injured after what, maybe the second over today or something like that. So for him to step up, not really put someone under pressure to play with an injury, they still have 3 games left. He's one of their mainstays since he's come in and replaced Najibullah Zadran. And one of the best things about Omarzai, like you said, out and out all rounder, right? You get a fourth bowler, you get a third pacer, fourth pacer, whatever it is. You get 6, 7, maybe 10 overs out of him any day. And he bats top five. What else do you want from the guy?
Patience that they showed with Rahmat Shah and Hasmatullah Shahidi, they weren't always producing the results against the bigger teams. Sometimes because of their strike rates, they were literally in the reason
Yeah,
why Afghanistan were losing some matches. And
yeah.
here they are performing and winning them at the biggest stage.
After the first wicket fell, did you feel like there might be a collapse? I had a
Absolutely.
little bit of feeling that, they might crumble a little. But
Get Ibrahim now, and that's it. The game could
yeah,
be
the
over right
game
then
could
and
be
there.
exactly right. That's what I was thinking too. But honestly, a lot of maturity shown throughout the World Cup, I would say. Especially after how their first game went and stuff like that. It's easy to write them off and whatnot, but they've stepped up day in and day out throughout these six rounds that we've had till now. 3 wins, 3 losses, but 3 wins, like you said, against ex-world champions. One of them against the defending champion. Um, and honestly, with the strike rate issue comes into play. Today they could really coast through the innings. Didn't really look flustered as much, but with someone like Gurbaz, if he gets going on a small target like this, they might chase it earlier and get their run rate boost. Whereas because he didn't get going today, Ibrahim Zadran took that responsibility and played a little slower, but just to ensure that they see themselves home rather than trying to go hammer and tongs. But yeah, I mean, looks a pretty complete team. For a team that were playing Division 5 WCL 14 years ago.
Talking about Sri Lanka, not much to talk about their bowling attack, to be honest. They didn't look penetrative other than Dilshan Madushanka's new ball spell.
Yeah,
But didn't you feel that their fielding really let them down today?
yeah, that energy just wasn't there. Um, but they did pick up some energy towards the end. Patum Nisanka tried to pull off like a crazy catch. They had a very close run out call and whatnot. But, they dropped a catch. What was it, at backward point or something? Uh, yeah, it's just for a team coming on the back of 2 out of 2 wins. They've beaten Afghanistan in the Asia Cup. They're hoping to repeat that same feat a month later. Just hasn't happened. They haven't shown that kind of urgency today. Obviously, when you get a middling score in the first innings, it doesn't help your cause, but you still have to come out and defend those runs. But they clearly didn't look the part today, and Afghanistan, credit to them, made full use of it.
Now let's go to the first innings. Sri Lanka's top seven all getting to double figures, but no one really making it count. No one even getting a half century from there.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think about the dropping of Kusal Pereira for Dimut Karunaratne?
I think they wanted a much more reliable and consistent player up top, especially against this Afghan bowling attack.
Yeah,
But going the more aggressive route is never a bad option either against Afghanistan. So it was always going to be a 50-50 call for me with
Yeah.
Kusal Pereira. You'd never get consistency or reliability, unfortunately. So many years of cricket, and yet you don't seem to get that.
Yeah,
So I
just
guess
plays a
that's the
worldie here
reason.
and there, and then it's like nowhere
Mhm.
after that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the reason they backed someone like Dimut Karunaratne, who they expect to take the more, cautious and responsible role.
Yeah. 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 I think besides that, Nisanka, Mendes got a few today, didn't convert. Samara Vikrama, same thing, got a few, didn't convert. Nisanka didn't convert. But these guys, like we said, the whole tournament, they've always been in the runs, and one day or another, someone got a big score, and it really helped them push that total towards the 300 mark or north of 300. That's what they missed today. All the guys started well, but um, so they look like they're in form, but against Afghanistan's bowling performance, they just didn't hold up to it. And Rashid and Mujib played a big part in getting those wickets in the middle order, which really made a big difference.
This was a very different Pune pitch from the one we saw earlier. The ball was holding up a bit. And now coming to the bowling at performance of both teams, Pacers sort of came into the play because that's the thing with Asian teams. The Pacers know how to perform well in conditions where the ball holds a little.
Holds,
Unlike
yeah,
Pacers from other regions who
yeah,
aren't as familiar,
yeah.
these Pacers grew up in conditions which do favor uh, the spinners more. So they
Spinners,
know how to
yeah,
perform
yeah,
even when the wicket is holding back.
yeah.
We can talk
Uh,
about Rashid and Mujib as spin twins. Again, didn't bowl too much in tandem, but they both bowled exceptionally well. Faruqi, that's the inclusion that we really need to talk about. You spoke about dynamic, how including Omarzai as a number five is dynamic approach, but how dynamic is this approach where in Chennai against Pakistan, they drop Faruqi, they don't need him, they bring him in just because they think that he's going to do well here in Pune against Sri
yeah,
Lanka. He does exactly that,
yeah,
using players according to their strength and putting them into playing 11 accordingly. And even though he won man of the match today, if he doesn't get favorable conditions in the next match, we might see him getting dropped again.
yeah. Uh, and those are the situations players have to be able to digest, and they have to be able to take it on the chin with a happy face and say, I'm not the right player for the conditions. Simple. That's what it is. Sometimes you will have small boundaries in a game where some type of bowler might not be the right bowler, and that does not mean they're not the best 11 that day. It's just what the best 11 might be able to output on that certain day. So like you said, for him to come in today, bowled amazing with the new ball, making use of the swing, making use of the surface, but then more so towards the end, the wicket he got of Angelo Matthews with that slower delivery. But rather more than the wickets, I think it's more about how much purchase he was getting out of the pitch with his slower deliveries and his other variations. It just showed how much he's improved his skill as a bowler over the last few years. Um, he's a massive, massive, big part of Afghanistan's bowling attack. But when you have Naveen there, Omarzai there, and Faruqi there in a pitch like this where it's helps their bowler pacers a little, bowl their variations and stuff, you can slot them back in. You go to Chennai again, you can bring out Noor Ahmed, or you go to Lucknow, you can bring out Noor Ahmed, and he might take three for you. So, yeah, I mean, these are good problems to have for Afghanistan, and I think, like you said before, Jonathan Trott is making great use of his players, great use of his 15 that he has, and it clearly shows.
I think we're pretty much at the end of the discussion. We've covered most of the aspects.
Yeah.
Not a good day in the office for Sri Lanka, and Afghanistan just look like the out and out better side. I mean, Dinesh Karthik spoke in the Quick Buzz post-match live that this isn't an upset by any definition.
No, no.
It's just the better team winning. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah. The only upset in this World Cup till now is actually Bangladesh winning against Afghanistan. Because if Afghanistan had 8 points today, they would be in a much better position for that semi-final spot. But no, right on. I think it hasn't been handed to them. None of the three wins has been handed to them. They've done the hard yards. There's a video doing the rounds right now of Rashid Khan talking to the boys before the game. Very inspirational speech about fighting and about being out there. Doesn't matter if you're batting or bowling second. Doesn't matter if there's dew or not. Having like that champion approach and always being ready to fight and things like that. And it just speaks volumes about the kind of value Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi brings to the squad, especially with their variety of experiences across the world, and playing with very different types of players everywhere. They've obviously learned a few things. So, yeah, I mean, Afghanistan for a top four position.
They'll be gunning for that spot. New
Yeah,
Zealand better watch out, honestly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. New Zealand's a bit on the downward trend. So like we said at the start of the World Cup, maybe episode 1 or 2, if you catch a few guys on a downward trend, some team might just make it out of nowhere, because of a downward trend or a slump that hits out of nowhere.
Speaking of downward trend, tomorrow Bangladesh and Pakistan take each other on. One of the sides are gonna end their losing streak.
Oh yes, yes, yes,
It seems
yeah.
as if it's likely to be Pakistan at this point, but
Pakistan.
you never know. With these two teams, you
With
never
these
know.
two teams, there is no guarantee who's going to end up. But if Bangladesh wins, make sure you sign out of Facebook, because a lot of people will not stop shouting after that. So
All right, Farzin, thank you very much. We hope to be back tomorrow with another interesting episode of The Morning After. Till then, goodbye.
thank you.